All right, so you ready for this one? Today, we're taking a deep dive into someone pretty interesting.
Yeah.
Nirajan Dhakal.
Okay.
And you've sent over a really amazing collection of his, writings and social media posts, even his bio.
Oh, cool.
So it's going to be really interesting to dive into all this.
Yeah, it's like we get to go behind the scenes a bit with this one.
Exactly.
Like, rather than just seeing what, someone wants us to see online, we're going to see a little more about who this guy really is.
Yeah, I love that. And where else to start than childhood, right?
Sure.
So picture this, right? Nirajan, as this little kid, absolutely mesmerized by the night sky.
Okay.
So obsessed with it, he would sleep on the roof just to stargaze.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and he even talks about his grandmother explaining the moon to him with this whole story about a moon god who was their maternal uncle or something. It's amazing.
It's funny how we try to explain the world like that.
I know.
Especially as kids, right?
Yeah.
That's how we start to understand things.
Yeah, and you can already see with him, though, he wasn't content with just the stories.
Yeah.
He was always asking why. Right?
Oh, I see.
Why are planets spherical? Why this? Why that? He even got in trouble a bit in school for asking too many questions.
No.
I know. A little too curious.
I know, but it's like that thirst for knowledge, right?
Yeah, that's so important, though.
Right.
Because, even when people push back, being curious is, such a powerful thing.
Oh, absolutely.
He wasn't satisfied with just surface-level explanation.
Exactly.
He had to know.
Yeah.
The mechanics of it, the underlying principles, why is it like that? And that's what makes him so interesting, too, because you fast forward to today, and that kid is now a self-described science communicator, right?
Why?
With a YouTube channel called Nirajan's Cosmos and everything.
I love that.
And it's that fascination never went away.
Yeah.
He just found new ways to explore it.
That's really cool. And you know what it makes me think?
What's that?
He talked about feeling isolated when he was younger.
Yeah.
He was one of the only Einsteins in his class or whatever.
Right.
So I wonder if, part of this is him trying to connect with other people who share that same passion for science.
Totally. Yeah. And he even talked about how he had this friend growing up who also was super into space.
Oh.
And they would just spend hours talking about the Big Bang and aliens and everything.
That's awesome.
I know, it's very cool.
It seems like that's always been part of it for him, finding people who get it.
Totally. Yeah. And get this, he doesn't just stick to astronomy either.
Okay.
We're calling it machine learning, quantum computing, genetics.
Oh, wow.
This isn't just a space thing. It's understanding existence.
Wow.
On every level.
I like that.
I know, right? And he even says he's a total bookworm.
Oh, yeah.
But the range of books this guy has read is
What are we talking about?
mind-blowing. Everything from, classic science to philosophy.
Okay.
So we're talking someone interested in the entire universe.
Right.
And then also how, a single gene works.
Yeah, it's a fascinating combination.
Yeah, I know. What do you think that says about, how his brain works?
I don't know. I think he's looking for connections.
Oh, really?
He sees the universe as this crazy tapestry with all these threads.
Right.
And to him, astronomy, genetics, even those complex books he's reading, it's all connected,
Totally. It's he's looking for the answer to everything.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah.
It's one big puzzle.
Right. And he's not just reading about it either. He's really engaging with this stuff.
Right.
He even mentioned struggling to understand
Look at that.
ATP synthase.
ATP synthase, okay.
Which is this really complex process in biology, but he had to figure it out,
That's cool. It's he turns challenges into opportunities. He didn't just memorize a bunch of facts about it. He really wanted to understand it.
Totally. And then, get this.
Yeah.
This is where it gets really interesting.
Okay.
He has these videos called Arlog.
Arlog, go, okay.
Where he breaks down complex books into these really easy to understand chunks.
Oh, that's cool.
And it's he took that experience with the ATP synthase and was how can I make this easier for other people?
That's awesome.
Right.
That's a true science communicator.
Yes.
It's not enough to just know it. You have to share it in a way that people get it.
Right, exactly.
And that's what's so important about what he's doing, I think.
Totally. And, speaking of which, he doesn't shy away from the big questions either.
Okay, like what?
The meaning of life, religion, our place in the universe.
Oh, wow.
All the big ones.
Yeah.
And he even wrote about growing up Hindu and then questioning those beliefs later on.
Yeah, that's a tough one.
I know.
It's like a lot of people go through that, especially those interested in science, like that tension between what you believe and what you're learning.
Totally.
And it's clear he's thinking about it.
Oh, he's definitely thinking about it. And he's not afraid to explore those questions, even if he doesn't have the answers.
Yeah. And, you know, that struggle is where you grow.
Totally. Yeah. And he even quotes Carl Sagan.
Oh, really?
Yeah. He says, "We are star stuff."
Yeah.
Like that classic Carl Sagan.
I love that.
It's this beautiful reminder that we're all connected.
It is.
Like part of this big story.
Yeah. It makes you feel pretty small.
It does, in a good way.
Right. In a good way.
I think so.
And it makes what he's doing even cooler, you know?
Totally.
He's not just trying to teach people about science.
Right.
He's inviting them to think about these big ideas.
Yes.
And like appreciate the wonder of it all.
It's like he's saying, let's explore this together.
Totally.
Let's ask the questions, even if it's uncomfortable.
Yeah.
And I love that.
I like that a lot. And you know what? Hold on.
Yeah.
Before we go any further, can we talk about that tension he mentioned?
Yeah.
Between like his upbringing and his desire to learn.
Yeah.
Because I think that's super important.
Totally. That's where we'll really see what drives him.
Totally.
Let's do it. He talks about this like aha moment he had while he was studying ATP synthase.
Okay.
Remember that?
Yeah.
The really complex thing.
Super complex.
And he finally gets it, and it's like he just has this urge to explain it.
Oh, I love that.
I know.
Like he wants other people to understand.
Totally. And he even talks about how he had to find the right way to explain it.
Oh, interesting.
Like, you know, to find the right story.
Yeah.
To really make it stick.
Because that's the thing with science, right? You got to be able to explain it in a way that like clicks for people.
Yes. And that's what he's so good at, right? It's like storytelling, but with science.
Exactly.
And speaking of stories, like his own life is full of them.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like we see this pattern of him taking initiative.
Okay.
Like in 2017, he won this whole science exhibition.
Cool.
With a project called Smart City Dev Daha.
Smart City. Okay.
And then on top of that, he's a founding member of all these clubs.
Wow.
He even represented Gandaki University as a student ambassador.
That's awesome.
Like the guy's going places. And it's so interesting because it all connects back to his childhood.
What do you mean?
Like, remember how he was always asking questions, even when people told him to stop?
Yeah.
It's like he took that and turned it into this drive to create spaces where people can be curious.
I love that.
Right.
Because, like, the world needs more of that.
Totally. And that's what he's doing with DRCFS.
The RCFS.
Yeah, the Data Research Council for Students.
Oh, cool.
Where he's all about hands-on learning.
I like that.
And get this.
What?
He's also a web developer at NRCC.
NRCC, okay.
The Nepal Research and Collaboration Center.
Wow, this guy does it all.
I know, right? Talk about multi-talented.
Seriously, and you know what?
Hey.
That's such a good combo for today's world.
What do you mean?
Like, think about it.
Yeah.
Science communication now, you need to know the tech stuff, but you also need that human touch.
Totally, yeah.
And he's got both.
He does, and he uses them so well.
And it seems like he's really intentional about it, which I respect.
Yeah, he is. Like, he can go super deep into a topic.
Right.
But then he knows how to make it engaging.
Yeah, like on YouTube.
Totally. Like, he gets it.
He gets it.
And don't even get me started on the artistic side.
Oh, is he artistic too?
Yeah, he was like a lead graphic designer for Holt Prize Gandaki University.
Wow. Okay, hold on.
I know, right?
This is getting ridiculous.
I know. But it makes sense, right?
Yeah, I guess so.
Like, he's not just about the data and numbers. He wants to make it beautiful, too.
That's cool, and it makes sense.
Totally.
It's all about making it accessible.
Yes.
And you know what else I like about him?
What's that?
It's not just about science for him.
Yeah, it's bigger than that.
He's trying to understand, like, our place in all of this.
Totally. Yeah, and he's not afraid to ask the big questions.
Exactly.
And he even talks about wanting to build, get this, human-aligned AI systems.
Human-aligned? What does that even mean?
I know.
But I like it.
Me too, especially with all the AI stuff going on.
It's a lot right now.
It really is.
But it's cool he's thinking about it like that.
Yeah, it's like he's trying to find the good in it.
Totally.
Which is refreshing.
It is. It really is.
And it kind of brings us back to his whole thing with religion and philosophy.
Right, because that's about his beliefs too.
Exactly. And it's in those moments where you really see him grappling with things.
Totally. And those are the best parts, honestly.
They are, because it's like he's figuring it out as he goes.
Totally. And that's relatable, you know?
And he's not afraid to talk about it.
Yeah. And you can tell he's being genuine about it.
You can, and it makes you want to listen even more.
It does. It really does.
Okay, so we've talked about his curiosity. We've talked about the skills.
Yeah.
But what do you think is at the core of it all?
You mean what makes him tick?
Yeah, like what drives him?
That's a good question.
Right.
Okay, well, based on everything you've shown me,
Yeah.
I'd say it's a few things.
Okay.
First, that curiosity we talked about,
Yeah.
that's huge for him.
It is.
Like, he really wants to understand everything.
He does. He really does.
But it's more than that.
Oh.
It's not just about knowing stuff.
What is it then?
It's about making those connections.
You mean like the aha moments?
Exactly.
Okay, I like
when it all comes together. It's like he's searching for something.
I see what you mean.
It's hard to explain.
No, I get it.
Like a unifying thread.
Yes. Like it all makes sense somehow.
Exactly. And he wants to find it.
That's awesome.
It is. And let's not forget about the human element here.
What do you mean?
Remember he said he's like an outsider?
Oh, right.
Like he was different?
Yeah.
I think that's part of it too.
You think so?
Yeah. Like he wants to connect with people.
Through science.
Yeah.
Exactly.
That's really cool.
It is. And it's working.
It is. And you know what else I find really interesting about him? What's that?
His thing with religion.
Oh, yeah. That was heavy.
It was. And it made me think a lot because it's like he's really searching for something.
He is. And it's brave.
It is. Because it's not easy to question those things.
Especially when you're raised a certain way.
Exactly. But he's doing it.
He is. And he's sharing it with us.
Yeah. Which is huge.
It is. It really is.
And it makes you think like, what would he say if you were here?
That's a good question.
Right. It's like he's thinking about these huge existential things.
Totally.
But he's also just like a regular guy trying to figure it out.
Yeah, there's no ego there.
Exactly.
Which I really appreciate.
Yeah, it makes him so much more relatable.
Totally. Because he's not claiming to have it all figured out.
Right.
He's just like on this journey.
And he's inviting us along.
Exactly. Like, come ask the questions with me.
Yes. And that's such a powerful message.
Especially these days, you know?
Totally. Yeah. Like, it's okay to not have all the answers.
It's more interesting that way, honestly.
Yeah, I agree. And it's like he learned that from his own experiences, right?
What do you mean?
Like, remember how he talked about being one of the only science kids in his class?
Oh, yeah. Like, he felt different.
Totally. And it's like he's trying to create a space where no one feels like that.
I love that.
Right.
Like, everyone's welcome to explore these ideas.
Totally. Yeah. It's like he's breaking down barriers.
He is. He really is.
And you can really see that in his work as a science communicator, too.
Oh, absolutely.
Like, it's not just about teaching facts.
No, it's about getting people excited about it.
Yes. That's the spark.
Exactly. And he's got that spark himself, which is why it works.
Totally. Yeah. It's like he wants everyone to see the world the way he sees it.
And he's got all the tools to do it.
Right. Like the storytelling, the design, his unique perspective.
It's a really cool combination.
It is. And he makes you think about things in a whole new way.
He does. He really does.
So, as we wrap up this deep dive,
yeah,
what would you say is the most important thing to remember about Nirajan Dhakal?
I think it's his belief in knowledge.
Okay.
Like, he really believes that knowledge can change the world.
I like that.
And not just change it, but connect us.
Yes. That's huge.
And the best part is, he's not just talking about it.
He's doing.
He's out there making it happen.
Right. He's creating those spaces for curiosity and learning.
Exactly. And it's inspiring.
Totally inspiring. Like, he's a true citizen of the cosmos, you know?
I love that.
Right. Like, he just gets it.
He does. And you can't help but feel a little more curious yourself after spending time with his work.
Absolutely. And a little more hopeful, I think.
Me too.
Like, the world needs more of that right now.
It really does.
So as we finish up, here's something for everyone listening to think about.
Okay, I like it.
What sparks your curiosity?
Yeah, good question.
What are you drawn to? What do you want to learn more about?
Don't be afraid to explore those things.
Exactly, because you never know where they might lead.
You really don't, and that's the exciting part.
It really is. All right, until next time, everyone, keep those brains buzzing.